Vols are back.
Yeah. Money make the world go round. I'm trying to get it all right now. Everybody worry about the crown being. Look, homie, I'm the man right now. Talking to a peon, kind of time we on. Jump roll like the kind of take eons. Got a little buzz, it's time to go beyond. Can't look back, no time to hit rewind. Yeah, she wants to do S class. I'm like, move, you must ask. They pour way too much in your glass. Just move your hips like a whole up class. Hit the gab, I talk that gap. Strut like up, man, I walk that shit. When I'm up, that's it. I'ma start living reckless. Get that bag, I'ma walk like this. Yeah, I'ma walk like this. Hit that lane, I'ma walk like this. Walk in the spot, but they all get lit. Tell them on flow, let me talk my shit. Every song bang when they drop in hit. Stand on the man, post stop, no miss. Over your head, next time, don't slip. Play your part, better read that script. Yeah, I'ma walk like this.
All right, now my mic's on. Well, I'm just going to be honest with everybody. This is a monumental day, a monumental week in Tennessee sports history. You don't get many opportunities like the one we're about to have. And this is a big-time week in Tennessee sports. So, obviously, this is a very successful week for all the sports currently. Lady Vols, men's basketball, baseball team. We got to see some major success this week, so I'm definitely looking forward to talking about it. And a whole lot more. First of all, oi fellow comrades, it is your boy Squidtard here, along with my two co-hosts, Mr. Wolverine, Mr. Lucas Sharp, as you all know him, and then down there, Mr. Julio Rodriguez. First of all, how are you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, I've been doing okay.
Good to hear, good to hear. Julio, anything?
And I guess Julio's been doing terrible. He ain't talking.
Yeah, you guys have. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm good as always.
Okay. You guys must have like the least eventful weeks of all time because every time we get on here, I'm like, "How you guys doing tonight? What special toughs did you do?" They're like, I did a thing. Hey, good job."
Well, I don't know. What do you want me to say? I climbed Mount Everest. I went to space.
I'd like it if you did that.
I won $1 million. I mean, I'd
really
love
would.
that, but it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah, probably not with your bracket at least. Anyway, on to more important things here. So before we get started with our topics for tonight, we do have a very special guest awaiting us in the back room, and a lot of you guys have been wanting this guy to get on here on the Volstar podcast, and of course, I brought him on here tonight. As the title would say, we do have our very special guest joining us tonight, so whenever you guys are ready, we'll go ahead and bring him on in. And it is none other than the almighty South Carolina Gamecock legend, Mr. Carolina Jackpot. Let's bring him on here. How are you doing, Carolina Jackpot?
Man, better than I deserve. How are you doing tonight?
Doing spectacular that you're here. It's going to be a great show tonight, just on that
You guys
alone.
doing okay?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
to
you
hear.
guys are co-hosts. I need to get excited, man. They didn't sound excited.
They never do.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Come on now.
Yeah, I know. What's new? They're trying real hard, though. You got to give them respect for that.
True.
But it's good to have you on here, man. I've been wanting you on here on the Volstar podcast for a long time,
Yes, sir.
and I'm looking forward to talking about some sports with you. We'll talk about basketball, talk about football. We had a South Carolina Gamecock man on a few weeks ago, and he told us that the Gamecocks were looking at another 9-3 season. So I'd love to hear your take on where South Carolina is going to stand with their schedule. So we'll make sure to preview that before we get to the end of the show tonight.
Sounds good.
Alrighty then. Well, I guess for starters, we'll talk about what's happened with the basketball teams, because obviously that's the main thing. Now, Jackpot, it's been an unfortunate time for you as a South Carolina men's basketball fan, because, well, obviously they aren't in the tournament. Women's is doing really well. The women's team, obviously, is elite. But
That's kind of a given anymore.
Yeah, the women's team for South Carolina will pretty much always do well now. Dawn Staley's a heck of a coach.
They didn't play their best ball yesterday. But I mean,
I
Well,
mean,
I remember I saw they won the first game by like 47 points.
they won by 60.
Oh, yeah, 60. That
108 to 48, and then yesterday they beat Indiana by like 10. So,
yeah.
they roll along.
And yeah, survive and advance. That's the name of the game. Just survive and advance.
That's true.
Telling it like it is. As for Tennessee, well, it's another Sweet 16 appearance for us. We beat Wofford 77-62. And it was a good performance by us. Chaz Lanier put up 29 points. It wasn't the best performance by far. The defense looked sort of off. And there was several moments in that game where I was actually severely concerned that we were going to find a way to sell at the end. But thankfully, we held on just in time to get the W versus UCLA as well. And another great game by Chaz Lanier. He's without a doubt the best scoring guy on the team at this point. I don't think there's any more debate on that front. Just another good performance. We sort of held the lead on him the entire game and didn't let go. And we took care of business. So that's really all there was to it. I think the big thing was that Tennessee had more rebounds than UCLA because we had 36, they had 26. That was kind of the defining factor in that one. So now, after those 2 weeks, we get to have a hell of a rivalry week, a hate week, so-called, against the Kentucky Wildcats. As we all know, Kentucky, this is their sport. This is their sport. Their football team is an absolute shambles, and they will be for a very long time. Mark Stoops ain't doing nothing for them. We all know that. And then baseball, I think this encapsulates everything we need to know about the baseball team.
Kentucky baseball. Kentucky baseball.
Yeah, it's shit. So, more important, the basic thing that we need to know here is this is their moment right here. I don't think there's anything more sweeter for a Kentucky fan, or at least in my wildest imagination, there wouldn't be anything sweeter for a Kentucky fan to be the ones to knock Tennessee out of the tournament and prevent them from getting a single Final Four, because that's pretty much their main talking point, as we all know. So now I'll give it to you guys. You guys, have you guys seen anything? Have you guys seen anything from Tennessee so far that makes you think that we can beat Kentucky?
I mean, what can I say? I think we've been playing pretty good at the moment. Chaz Lanier, of course, he's been shooting lights out. So, and Kentucky's been playing pretty well as well. They got the big win over Illinois, crushed them, actually, I believe, by 16, 18 points, something like that.
Yeah.
And Kentucky looks pretty good. I mean, both teams are getting hot and getting hot at the right time. It's going to be a really good game, but I don't know. Can Kentucky beat us a third time? Of course, it could happen, but they do say that it's hard to beat a really good team twice, and of course Kentucky did that, but it's even harder to do it a third time.
Wait, you all lost to them twice?
Yes.
We have yet to beat
yes,
them
and
this
it was
How'd
absolutely
that happen?
I don't know. It was absolutely embarrassing.
We lost to them on the road, and then they came into Thompson Bowling and beat the ever-living hell out of us.
Yeah.
Ollie.
And I will say, if we lose to them a third time this season, I don't know if I'm going to be on this podcast ever again, because I am going to find the tallest cliff in the world and I am going to jump off of it.
I can't say I'm wrong with you on that one. Now I do have to ask you, Jackpot, did you ever make a bracket for the basketball?
Yeah, we over on our podcast page, the RobinKellShow.com, we have a contest there that's sponsored by the Sports Bar and Grill that sponsors our football challenge. We did a bracket challenge too. We got about 50 people in there, I think.
Nice. So how's yours turning out?
It was going okay. I need to check it. I picked a couple of upsets correctly. In my Sweet 16, I think I've got about 10 teams correct that are in the Sweet 16. I did not have Kentucky making it. I actually picked them to lose in the first round, since they do a lot of that. I didn't have Arkansas pegged, of course.
Yeah.
Didn't have Ole Miss either. Florida, Tennessee, Auburn, Michigan State, all those guys I had in. So Duke, Houston, all that. So
Right, the big
usual
favorites.
suspect. Yeah.
It's a good time
Yeah.
to do that because there have not been many, if any at all, like, upsets. Now, the biggest upset of the tournament.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
Oh, you go ahead. Sorry.
I was noticing that we were talking about this last night on our show. Do you think that we'll start not seeing as many of those little feel good stories, Cinderella teams in the tournament anymore with the transfer portal the way that it is, and with NIL the beast that it is? Do you think that the cream is risen to the top and those teams are just at a huge disadvantage now, or maybe not?
I think the road is probably still. I mean, it was tough anyway, but I think now with NIL, just a lot of people sapping these a lot of these good players, it's going to be really, really tough for one of these Cinderellas to show up. Now, it's not impossible, as we all know. I mean, look at Arkansas. They were a 10 seed, and I mean, look at where they are right now. But it was never easy for like a 15 seed to make it even close to a Final Four or anything even remotely close to that. So it just makes it slightly tougher. It's not enough to make a significant difference, though. But I think you'll like this. The fact that the biggest upset we've had in the tournament so far just so happened to be the old Clemsoning against McNeese State.
Yeah, Clemson lost as a 5 seed to a 12, but so did Memphis lost as a 5 seed to a 12 too in Colorado State. But I think when that game tipped off, I think Colorado State was actually the favorite.
They were actually.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Colorado State, they almost beat Maryland.
It took a buzzer beater for Maryland to beat them.
Yeah, so Clemson was a significant favorite, and that first half was historically bad. I mean, it was really, really bad.
Terrible even. Now, it did save my bracket, thankfully, because I had Maryland making it pretty far in the tournament. If they had gone down, things would have probably unraveled. So thank you, Maryland, for maybe traveling, maybe not traveling. I don't know. Everybody's crying about the refs so much. UConn lost to Florida, and of course we all saw Dan Hurley have a little aneurysm about it. I hope they don't make you nothing about us, Bader. Oh, boo-hoo. Boo.
That was really childish. I saw that.
Right. What's new? I think that this is the same guy that was talking about 2 rings, Baldy. So I mean, like, come on.
Dude, what is it with?
I was gonna say, which is super ironic, by the way, since you take one look at Dan Hurley and realize that he's bald himself. Who is he calling Baldy?
I know. I was sorry. I was just gonna say, what is it with UConn hiring all these freaking crybabies as their coaches?
Fits right in the system.
You get Dan Hurley, and then you also have Gino Ariema.
At this point, I just call him Gino Aneurysm. It fits right there with him.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we're beating him.
Yeah, Julio, was you wanting to say something? You've been on muting a lot. I guess not.
I think Julio's having a.
Gino's been around for a long time. I mean, how long has he been there? 25 years. He's been around forever.
Oh yeah. Long time, and every single year he gets more and more crybaby-ish. I'm glad this was fine. If he was going to retire this year, I'm finally glad that this is the year that we finally beat him, because the Lady Vols finally beat UConn in basketball after many, many, many attempts. So whether the Lady Vols lose in the round of 16, the Sweet 16, or if they go further than that, it's going to be a successful year nonetheless. See, even the dogs.
Oh, Carolina Jackpot, you got a Georgia fan?
I don't know. Something's outside. Stop. Come on. Settle down. Comment section, Jamal says Gino's been there since 1985. Wow.
There goes Julio.
40 years? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe it.
He did win a championship, right?
Yeah. No.
Who, Gino?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's won multiple.
Okay.
Yeah, he's won
Yeah.
multiple.
I didn't know. I was like, I had to make sure and verify that. I was like, he did win a championship, right?
Yeah, he's won multiple.
It's it's
I think-
basically like the men's team.
Kind of in that period after Tennessee's women's team kind of slipped out of dominance that they had, I think that his group kind of took over for a while.
They did.
Right.
As being like a dynasty.
And
Yeah,
they've
but
been
now-
the biggest force for sure.
Yeah, they've somewhat fallen off, and South Carolina's took that place right now.
Right. Right. I'm trying to load up my bracket, but I guess it really isn't even that important. I mean, we all know I'm pretty close to winning it. For those of you in the bracket, of course, I did want to show it because everybody that's in our bracket is in the race for the free cool and good hat from the Squidtard store. So we'll see how it goes. I haven't checked on it in a while, but I'm not winning. So if that makes some of you feel better, there you go. That'll make some of you feel better.
And now everybody's
Y'all
starting to
hear
spam Squid. Yeah, we can hear you. Well,
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we can
For
hear
some
you.
reason, my thing was messed up. I don't know. My headphones are messed up.
Okay, then we'll give you the floor here, Julio. Tell us what you think about the Sweet 16.
Oh, the Sweet 16?
Just
which
whatever.
matchup?
Yeah. Tennessee,
Uh,
Kentucky. Yeah.
No,
the
oh,
one
okay.
that
Well,
matters.
Tennessee, Kentucky. Of course, on one hand, I feel somewhat confident since it's our third matchup. But then I also just have this gut feeling that I could get my heart ripped out of my chest. Knowing how we are in the tournament.
I
I
don't
I don't-
think. I mean, it'd be hard to find something near as painful as losing to them in the Sweet 16 like that. It would be like losing to Alabama or Georgia in the college football playoffs. That's exactly what that would feel like. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm like crossing my fingers, like, please exist, please.
yeah.
Um,
Because this would definitely be. I know I hate to say it because Kentucky fans be like, "Oh, look at this, we're your Super Bowl," but this would be the biggest win in our program's history if we was able to pull it off.
oh, for sure.
Yeah, another one I think would be a big win is if Purdue, if we can beat Kentucky, and then if Purdue beats Houston, and then finally get revenge on those stupid people from freaking West Lafayette. I hate them so much. We cannot beat them.
Oh, yeah,
fuckers.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. No.
talking about ref you over there.
Don't get that started. We don't want to bring that back. Not yet, at least. All right, we're gonna switch things up here. Jackpot, I did want to. Of course, I did want to let you have this opportunity. Whenever we bring a special guest on here, specifically for football, we love to let them, go through the schedule and preview kind of what their ranking is going to be. So we did have, like I mentioned, we had a South Carolina fan on here a couple of weeks ago, SEC Football Tube, and he went through this schedule that I'm about to put up on the screen. And he said the Gamecocks are going to go 9-3. So I don't know if you remember their schedule, game by game. I doubt anybody does. So just from that alone, does that sound about right to you, Jackpot?
I honestly maybe it may be a little high. They've got a really brutal stretch in the month of October. They've got some tough road games. They're replacing a lot on their defense too. So if it gels quickly with what we've got coming in, we've done well in the portal.
Oh, yeah.
Then maybe, but I mean, they always seem to pull someone out of the portal every year that's special that you never heard of that turns into a star. Last year was no exception. But I mean, we're going to lose. When's the draft? A few weeks from now, we're going to have multiple players off that defense drafted this year. So that unit's got to pick it up early. Now, offensively, I expect them to be better. I expect them to score 7 more points a game. That's what I'm gunning for, 7 more points a game on average. And I think they may give up 7 more points a game. So that, if that plays out like that, then maybe, the things break our way. But the schedule's just tough. I mean, you got some tough road games. So,
well, while we're talking about the schedule, let's go through and see what we've got here on the schedule. Why don't we? Because man, we've got some really tough games for Carolina, but the schedule does start out favorably for them. I'll say that much. Let me put it on the screen real fast so that you can see it.
The thing I've just noticed with Beamer though is that he seems to pick it up about midway through the season. So I think some of those games might be closer than what people think.
That is
He
certainly
usually
true.
struggles early.
I don't think there's going to be a scenario. It's going to be hard to find a game like the Ole Miss game from last year where they just completely collapsed, because that was kind of the only game that South Carolina lost like bad in. The other two, like Alabama and what was the other one that they lost?
LSU.
Yeah. I mean, you lost to LSU off a walk-off field goal and then an interception, a game-winning interception in the Alabama game. Yeah. So those weren't bad losses. Mm-hmm. The Ole Miss one was bad, but I think I've heard you say this before, Jackpot, but I think they were more focused on beating Juice Wells than they were beating Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, that's it. That's what I was scared of before that game was even played, and they absolutely went out there and did exactly what I thought they might do.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, I will say this. If you guys have never seen Jackpot react to a game while it's live, you absolutely need to take some time to do that, because it is pure entertainment by far.
Absolute cinema. Absolute cinema.
It really is. It really is.
We have to be losing, though.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that, but it's still hilarious, and no matter what happens when you're playing Clemson, it's pure cinema, no matter what.
Yeah. So last year we didn't have as many, views were down last year on the channel, on the lives, as a result of the success we were having. I'd look up and there'd be when we were losing games. I would look up; it'd be nothing for me to look up at the little counter, and like 300, 400 people be watching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, it rarely got over 200, but that's okay. I mean, I'll trade that off for wins.
200 is really good, though, still. I mean, I feel some of what you're saying, because I averaged like 50 to 100 viewers during my live streams, game live streams last year. And then the Ohio State game, I had up to like 400 people at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, they wanted to see me get mad, and I did. I got heated, definitely, because we were down. You go down 21-0 off the bat. Yeah, that's cause for a little bit of outrage.
Yeah. People want to see they want to see people rage. Because I remember, Squid, your most popular video on your YouTube channel, I'm pretty sure, still your Georgia State rant. It's either that or the Alabama walk-off field goal.
It's not even close anymore, but it is. I mean, you're right about the second one. The Alabama walk-off field goal is the biggest one. The reaction from that.
I thought the South Carolina game was also up there, wasn't it? When he ate the Popeyes biscuit.
Oh, that's right. I did react to that, and then at the end, as torture. I'm talking about the 22 Tennessee Carolina game, which of course I know you remember. But at at the end of it, I got so mad that I grabbed a fork and I ate a Popeyes biscuit and drank no water. My throat by the end of it was in absolute hell. It's luckily I'm lucky I survived that. So anyway, let's get back over here to the South Carolina schedule. So we're gonna start out here from the top. August 31st, the Virginia Tech Hokies, and if South Carolina has any shot of going 9-3, I think you should win that one. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean, they should win that game, but that's not one to be overlooked at all. They'll be tough. They didn't have a very good season last year. Well, not in terms of what they were expected to do. So, I mean, they're returning their quarterback. So, I mean, I expect him to be they're going to be ready to play that game. That's the one they could slip up on. So they better be ready. But I think we can win them. I think we're like a 9-10 point favorite right now or something. So, yeah.
Yeah, and that'll probably go up before the end of the season or before the beginning of the actual season. And see, it's a neutral site in Atlanta. Yeah, I'd like Carolina's chances there. Yeah, same for the next one against the South Carolina State real Bulldogs, not them fake Bulldogs in Athens. So 2-0, or at least what it should be 2-0. We're going off of your predictions. So
Yeah.
Then next up, at home, you got Vanderbilt coming to town. You beat them in Nashville handily, despite them having a really good year. So what I'm willing to say is that you should win this one. What's your take, though?
Yeah, we'll beat them until they beat us. Then they're not beating us, and I'm not predicting it. So I know. Excuse me. I know Diego's back, but I'm not really sure what other pieces they have around him. I mean, I'm sure they'll be a tough out again, but I'm not really concerned about them.
Yeah, good old go Diego, go.
Yeah. So I'm pretty convinced that it should be 3-0 for the Gamecocks. This is a good start, by the way, for Carolina with a whole bunch of new players coming in. You couldn't have drawn this up any better, I think, because the rest of the schedule past that point gets a lot more difficult. Because after that, you get your first true road test going into Columbia to face off against Missouri. And Missouri has had your number for a while now. That you did beat them last year at home, but even that was a really tough game. And Missouri, they're talking about Eli Drakewitz having another great year at Mizzou, possibly. But, they're losing Luther Burden. They're losing their Brady Cook. They're losing their two biggest offensive pieces. So what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think we go out there and get a win over them. They're losing a ton on offense. And I mean, I'm not really sure who they're replacing it with. I know they went and got the Penn State backup quarterback, which, okay, I mean, whatever. We'll see how that works out. But, I don't know in terms of running the ball. I don't know what they've got there. And he's recruited well. Drinkwitz is recruited well. They'll be okay. I think he'll develop them. But early in the season, man, I like Carolina's chances in that one. I think Mizzou's probably a team that'll probably gel towards the middle end of the season. And when we play them, I think early in the season, that's going to be our advantage.
Right. All right. Before we get to the next one, hold on. There's something I need. Look at this. Hold on. Look at this. Hold on. I can't believe this. I had the door closed, so I didn't even see him. But look at this little shit. I didn't even see him. He just showed up in my room. This is Scooter, by the way. He's a little turd. See?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great cat. All right. Let me get out of here. Get out of here. All right, sorry about that. He literally snuck in my room. I didn't even see him at all when I shut the door. So all right. Let's get back to the schedule, why don't we? All right, so next up here after Mizzou, you got Kentucky at home. The Wildcats, obviously not a good team at all the last year. They're bringing in another transfer quarterback from God knows where. I got to look at their resume to find out. But they got the new transfer quarterback that's going to help revive Kentucky, just like the last 17 they got. So, do you think Mark Stoops goes into Columbia and beats South Carolina?
No, I don't. I think he may have worn out his welcome or his effectiveness at Kentucky. I mean, when he took that Texas A&M job after the 2023 season, you remember that? And then the Texas A&M people didn't want him, so they kind of sent him back. To me, that spoke volumes. I think inside his locker room, as far as where his allegiances are, he doesn't want to be there. And he took another job.
He's always bound to get one upset though. I don't think it'll be South Carolina though.
Very highly doubt it.
Yeah. Probably
Yeah,
beat
Zach
Ole Miss even though, since-
Calzada is the name of the quarterback that they got. He's from.
Oh yeah.
He was at Texas A&M, then he transferred to Incarnate Word, and apparently balled out last season. But Incarnate Word is a FCS program that's known for scoring a lot of points.
yeah.
Take of that what you want there. We'll see what he can do back in the SEC. He wasn't real successful last time.
Yeah.
You forgot about his great stint at Auburn too.
Oh yeah.
That's right. He was at Auburn.
Yeah. Goob's in the comments. He's an A&M fan, and he said, we unanimously rejected Stoops. It was a very scary 12 hours.
I bet it was. Nobody wants him, bro.
Well,
Feels like us, but it feels like Tennessee and Greg Schiano.
he could go to the group of 5. I'm sure there's a group of 5 team that would want him. If I were Southern
Oh, yeah.
Miss, I would want him.
Bring him to Central Michigan. We need a new head coach.
Yeah, I was about to say he'd be great there or Miami of Ohio. I don't know if they need a head coach, but
Yeah, point stands. South Carolina should absolutely win this game. So 5-0, that's a really good stretch right there. If they start out 5-0, that'll make the rest of the schedule look a little bit easier, and that'll give them some leeway once they get.
It's going to give you a little bit of cushion for sure.
Absolutely. And you're going to need it because after this bye week, you're going into Death Valley, the real Death Valley, at number 8 LSU. Of course, they might be even higher or lower by this point. It's Brian Kelly, so who the hell knows? But going into Baton Rouge, it's going to be a really tough environment to play in, especially if it's a primetime game at night. It's going to be tough, and I have no idea kind of what LSU's defense is going to look like. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. I see that as a losable game. I mean, let's just be honest. I mean, that probably will. I mean, South Carolina's probably going to likely to be 4-1 or 5-0 coming into that. I'm not sure. I mean, I know they open up with Clemson. Not sure what their schedule is between then and then. So, I mean, you could have 2 undefeated teams, 2 one-loss teams there. And if that's the case, they'll probably have a night game. Yeah, I don't know. That I don't like the chances a whole lot.
Brian Kelly will have a loss. You forget he always loses his opener.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, let's hope he turns that around this year.
Yeah, because it turns out that he's playing Clemson and Death Valley to start. Well, they're Death Valley, not yeah. But point still stands. It's going to be hard because we'll talk about Clemson in a minute, but they're bringing a lot back.
Yeah, so I've heard.
So we've heard. After that, though, you host Oklahoma at home, and they did get a really nice transfer out of the portal. The guy from Washington State. What's his name?
John Mateer.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
John Mateer, and he put up
new
really
offensive
good
coordinator.
numbers. Yeah, that's right.
New offensive coordinator there. So yeah, I think they're going to be much improved. Probably be the most improved team in your SEC there. If I had to go out on a limb.
With that being said, though, would you say Carolina gets the win at home?
Yep. I do.
Close game.
Yeah.
I still think we've got enough to beat them.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be tough for. I think it'll be tough for Mateer to go in there with South Carolina's defense. I think Dylan Stewart could have a day against that offensive line because that's the one thing I'm not so sure about with Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So at this point, we'd be looking at 6-1 for the Gamecocks. Pretty good start to the season, but it's going to continue to get tough after that. You've got Alabama at home, the Crimson Tide. SEC Football Tube a couple of weeks ago said that Carolina actually wins this game at home, and it wouldn't be the most surprising thing, but they're bringing back a lot of talent, but they are having a new quarterback coming in. What you think, Jackpot?
I think this is one. Certainly, it's a losable game, but I think this is one that they've got circled. I hope. Yeah, with the new quarterback deal, they've got a really highly touted freshman, redshirt freshman. I don't know exactly what he is. There that they think may be starting by that point. I expect their quarterback situation will be solid by the time they play us. I think that's going to be going. I think it's a game that we should win, though. They should have it circled, and we should beat them. Yeah. I was there last year at that game. Carolina was with them. We matched them blow for blow. It was as soon as we woke up, and we didn't wake up until halfway through the second quarter, but when we finally decided to wake up and start playing ball, it was a pretty competitive game there.
Oh yeah, hell of a fight. Could have gone either way. Same as this one. I think this could go either way, but with Carolina having home field and me not being so sure about what Bama's quarterback situation will look like, I could definitely see it going in the Gamecocks' favor. So say they're 7-1 heading into this Ole Miss game on the road in Oxford. Again, you're looking at a really tough environment right there. You think there's a shot at Carolina going in there and beating them?
Well, again, Jackson Dart was a really special quarterback. I don't know. I think his name is Austin Simmons. Yeah. I think is the name of the kid that's going to play quarterback. I don't know a lot about him. I'm sure he'll be good. Lane Kiffin always has a good quarterback. He never doesn't. But that'll be a tough one for us. But I got to see Ole Miss. I got to see their roster, really, because a lot of these teams, their rosters really aren't complete yet, and I don't know, exactly what we're going to be looking at. But they lost a lot of talent off that team last year. And, looking at South Carolina, that was a one-off. It was a really bad game they played. If you look at them down the stretch, they weren't that impressive to me, Ole Miss. Lost to Florida, played with their food against Mississippi State. They had some other close calls there. They beat LSU, they lose. They lost to LSU.
Ole Miss, yeah, they did. Yeah, LSU.
They lost to LSU. So they're not. They weren't some football juggernaut last year. That was a really bad performance by Carolina.
And they were I think
we could go there and get a win, but I'm not going to predict it. We don't play great on the road as a rule. So
I was going to say they are the only SEC team last year that lost to Kentucky. So take that into consideration.
Yeah, imagine that.
At home too.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what in the world's going on here? That one's I would probably say that's probably likely a loss. Just looking at it now from a 50,000 foot view.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough battle, I think. After a bye week, though, it's another road test. You get Texas A&M in College Station. Again, another team that's you sort of turned around against. They had your number for a while, and now, as of recently, you started to turn the scales against them. You beat them last year, but now you're having to go into their home turf. Going to be a tough bout for anybody. You think Carolina can go in there and beat them?
I think they can. I think this is one of those things. You start knocking down some of these walls. Start clearing some of these hurdles. Beat Texas A&M. We beat them. We finally beat Mizzou again, and now it's time. Let's beat Texas A&M on the road. I think they can. The quarterback didn't. That kid, he was looking really good last year until he played us, and then he had all kinds of problems.
Marcel Reed, I think, is.
Yeah. Now we did. Their running back got knocked out early in that game too. I don't know if he's coming back or not. But that kid was on pace for he was on pace to go for well over 1,000 yards. Le'Veon Moss, I believe was his name. And he got hurt on the first drive against Carolina, and he didn't play again the rest of the year. So
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's off to the draft.
He's done. They picked up some good pieces in the portal. Picked up Concepcion from NC State. That was one that I thought might be headed to Carolina. The rumor was he was headed to South Carolina, but I think he wanted too much of that stuff. So
okay, never mind. I was wrong. He is coming back. Le'Veon Moss is.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, Concepcion. He wanted too much money, and South Carolina wasn't going to shell out that kind of money for him. Especially then they paid Lenora Sellers like $2.5 million. It's unreal. Paid Dylan Stewart like $1.5 million. Yeah. Got to
keep the best players how you can keep them, I guess.
Yeah, I'm surprised they could get anybody from a power conference school in the portal when they're having to shell out that kind of money for those kids. It's insane.
Right.
Oh, I was going to say this about the A&M game. Think of it like this, though. You should catch them whenever they start to inevitably slide at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
8-4.
That's true. They've never finished season strong.
Texas 8-4.
Yep, it's inevitable. All right. Next up after that, you finally get to rest a bit after the gauntlet. Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers come to town. And Coastal Carolina, while they're not necessarily a bad group of 5 team, they shouldn't have much of a shot against the Gamecocks.
No, they're not that. No, but they don't. The bloom is off the rose with them. They were kind of a little group of 5 power there for a couple of years when they had Jamie Chadwell coaching them. But they're just average now.
I'm actually surprised Jamie Chadwell hasn't taken a Power 5 job yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal. He's at Liberty. Liberty has one of the highest enrollments of any school out there.
Yeah, well,
they do. I mean, they have like 70,000 students.
Yeah, the thing is, though, with Liberty, you get like Power 5 money for playing like weaker opponents, so it's kind of like a nice, cushy job. That's why they're good at sports, because 1, like you just said, they have a big enrollment, and 2, they have a lot of money since they're practically funded by a mega church.
Yeah. So I'm sure he's getting compensated well. So
yeah,
and I think it's a private school too. So
yeah, it is.
Nobody knows how much he makes. It's kind of like Clark Lee at Vanderbilt when they have all the salaries listed. His is like an estimate because you don't really know. It's they're private; they don't have to disclose it.
Yeah, right. Well, point still stands. The Chanticleers should be no challenge for the Gamecocks, leading up to everyone's favorite Palmetto Bowl showdown. And I'm telling you, I think there is a significant possibility that if Carolina does as good as I think they will, that we could see College Game Day head to Columbia for this matchup over Michigan, Ohio State, which is unbelievable. They always go to Michigan, Ohio State, but if the pieces line up, they could definitely go to this game. Now, it's weird. It's really, really weird because Clemson beats you all in Columbia, and then you beat them in Death Valley. It's a weird trend that I noticed going on, and I think this could definitely be the year that they shut it down. But Clemson is, they're going to be the front runners of the ACC once again. Dabo's talking about bringing another championship to Clemson. The expectation is greater than the appreciation, or whatever he says. So, all that being said, I want to hear from you, Jackpot. What do you think about Clemson? Do you think Carolina could take care of business there?
I mean, what you were saying there, that is true with the home team not playing as well as of late in this one. I don't know. This one's got. I mean, it kind of worries me. I mean, if they have some injuries by that point, if they've lost a couple of games and they're kind of like they had this past year, and maybe there's a chance there, but if they're in there, if they come in there rolling, if they somehow are come into that game 11-0, I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, I don't know. If just looking at it right now, I don't know. I don't know that we win that game. That's just, I mean, so we just don't play that great against them at home for whatever reason. You think they would, but just nuts that we don't.
Who was that person Clemson got in the portal this year? They got like one wide receiver.
Yeah, it was like a wide receiver from SEMO.
Yeah, they got a wide receiver from somewhere like that, and then they picked up a defensive end from Purdue, Will Helt. Supposed to be a pretty good player. Apparently, he was Purdue's defense.
Yeah, isn't it awkward how?
Not saying much. I think Purdue won one game, but I guess he was the defense. So.
He's the reason. He's probably the reason why they even managed to do it. Yeah, the dog telling us how he feels about Clemson.
Yeah, that's how he feels about that transfer portal kid.
Damn right. Isn't it weird how Clemson is now getting more transfer portal picks than Josh Heupel in Tennessee? That's odd.
Did they pick up more than Tennessee did?
I think they did because they've got 5 or 6 and we've got 4. It's something like that. I'll look for confirmation in the chat on that. It might have changed, and I might have.
No, they didn't pick up that many guys. I think they picked up 2 or 3.
It was at least 4.
They picked up the 2 we talked about. I don't know who else they.
That reminds me. I meant to ask you this a while ago, Squid. Did Ricky Gibson? I know he entered the portal. Did he ever get out, or did he come back?
I think he's still surfing in there. I haven't heard anything about him coming back. Otherwise, Vol Twitter would have been jumping around, telling everybody about how they're going to go 1-0.
I'm just surprised no one's went after him. I mean, I know he had a good season.
Yeah, and he's like what? He's a sophomore, right?
Yeah, he's either a sophomore or a junior.
Yeah, so it's not like he's one of those guys that's going to just appear for 1 year to fill a gap. I'm really surprised nobody's picked him up from anywhere. So that could change. Maybe they're just waiting on what's going to happen with their own roster. But that is a little surprising. Or he might be doing what Mike Matthews is doing, just waiting for us to give him a bigger bag. And in which case he better perform well enough next season.
Maybe I just need to make another video where I get upset about one of our players entering the transfer portal, because when I did that, Mike Matthews came right back to Tennessee.
Yeah, he better perform up to par. That's what I'll say. Okay, then. So I'll leave it off with this about the schedule. Jackpot, specifically, you looking at this schedule, what do you think just from this schedule on that South Carolina's record will be at the end of the year? Like, what's their floor? What's their ceiling? What do you think?
I don't think they eclipse last year's win total. So I think their ceiling's probably 9 wins, and their floor, I mean, they could win 5 games. I mean, we're just being honest. If the things don't go right, I mean, if they have if they have one disappointment, it could lead to a couple more. If they have some injuries like they had a couple years ago, I could see it. I don't think they will. I mean, I think they win like 7, 8 games. That's my realistic take. But I haven't done a real prediction video on that stuff, and I won't until the summer.
Right.
But I think it's a 7, 8 win team. I don't see them making the playoffs. I don't think they're winning 10 games. I don't believe any of that shit. I just don't. I'm realistic. At least I try to be.
It's hard to find our kind. That's for sure.
I mean, you can't. I mean, I can't just come on these shows and tell you folks that something that's just totally ridiculous that I don't believe. I mean, because whenever expectations are high, and they are going into the season, they don't seem to pan out. And I mean, history has a way of repeating itself. Now, there's always that chance that you buck the trend, but
Right.
it's a trend for a reason.
Yeah, that is true.
It's kind of how I feel. It's kind of how I feel about Tennessee basketball in the NCAA tournaments.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Jackpot? Who'd you pick to win the title this season in basketball?
Duke.
Good choice.
I had Duke. Some people had Florida. I saw some that had Houston and our thing. I think a couple did have Tennessee. My podcast partner, Rob Sanders, picked Clemson.
Rob would do that.
He went out.
I'll say this: mine and his pick both got eliminated in the second round for one of my championship picks. I didn't predict him to win, but I predicted him to get there. I predicted St. John's to the chip.
Who?
St. John's.
St. John's.
Oh, yeah. Well, that wasn't really a bad pick.
Yeah.
It was definitely better than Clemson.
I had them going to the Sweet 16. I was surprised that
They couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat against Arkansas. I don't know what they were doing on offense.
Yeah. But hey, shout out to Rob though. He's a Titans fan.
Yeah. Well, failure meets failure, I guess.
Yep.
I guess the Titans know a lot more about failure than Clemson, considering the Titans have never even made it to the big stage to win it all yet. But
They
one day.
went to a Super Bowl.
I'm talking about they
they've
haven't
been to
won
the
it.
Super Bowl.
They haven't won it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, It's true, Lucas. It's true. You can get mad about it all you want, but it's true. We all know.
Yeah, they went to one Super Bowl against somebody. I can't remember who they played.
It was the Rams.
Yeah, the time ran out when they were on the goal line, didn't it?
Yeah.
Bringing back bad memories of a time Lucas was never even born to witness.
That's tough.
Right. Now, I do want to know, was there any feasible reason, like actual rationality behind Rob picking Clemson, or was it just blind homerism?
I think it was homerism.
That would be the only feasible way to pick Clemson.
Yeah. I mean, what was you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say, I mean, maybe he just got high on the fumes of getting to the Elite Eight last year and was like,
if you look at their strength of record, I mean, it wasn't too hard to see they weren't going to make it that far because they didn't beat anybody. I mean, or they rarely even played anybody that was ranked in the net top 50 or higher. I mean, and that's weird because the ACC has been the basketball conference forever. They didn't have any good teams this year.
Oh, yeah,
even SMU had a really good record, but their net ranking, it was the shits.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you like Virginia, North Carolina. I mean, a lot of these dominant forces from the basketball years.
Virginia is absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
Syracuse, terrible. Miami was in the NCAA. Was in the tournament. They made it far in the tournament just a couple of years ago.
I think, 2 years ago they were on a Final Four run.
Did they go to the Final Four? They did, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They made the Final Four.
Yeah, this year I think they won like 6 games. So
I guess it's fitting, huh? I mean, they were a terrible conference in football. Might as well make them a dog water conference in this sport too. Before you know it, the baseball season is going to turn out the exact same way for them. Yeah.
Well, Rob blames it on, Roy Williams is retired. Coach K retired. Whatever the coach was at Syracuse, so they're forever retired. I mean, that's, they established some kind of tradition, right? So you'd think somebody would come around to keep that tradition going. And Duke, however, they didn't miss a beat. They're fine with the coach they've got. So I don't know it's necessarily that. But they may have just made some bad hires.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Well, thing is like even if they're bad basketball teams now, they're really good programs overall. So even if the head coach is named Hair on My Ball Sack the seventh, he still has all the credentials and all the power to get whoever he wants from the portal and get the recruits he needs to build a good team. So I can't figure it out. I can't figure it out for the life of me how they collapse that bad, but they have their moments and then they don't. I guess that's the best way of putting it. Yeah. All right. Well, we're about to wrap up the show. Jackpot, I appreciate you for being on tonight. Before we get out of here, tell us about what's going on over on your show. I've got your channel link in the description of this podcast, so people can go subscribe to the channel.
I'm pumping out some videos right now. I'm putting out some schedule previews and some just various sorted other things. If you want to come check those out. To be honest with you, I haven't been putting out as much stuff lately. I've been working a lot and just been getting in the way of it. But we are doing our live show every Sunday night and every Wednesday night. We go live at 9. We have a call-in show where the guests run the show. We don't run the show. The guests run it. But we have a fun time with that. So come check us out over there. Of course, during the season, I live stream all the South Carolina games unless I happen to go to it. And then, of course, I don't live stream it. But all the rest of them, we do live reaction, watch-alongs every game. So have a good time with that too.
Oh yeah. And if you guys want to go check out, definitely go check out their Sunday show because Jackpot's funny on there, Rob's funny on there, even when he's getting beat in an argument every single stream. Super funny. It's great to watch. So you guys go check out that show every single Sunday night. But yeah, great to have you on, Jackpot. Looking forward to having you on again, buddy. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, man. All right. See you, brother.
All right, buddy. See ya.
The great Carolina Jackpot. What a great guy. Glad to have him on the show. All right, guys. Well, before we get on out of here, firstly, we have to go and talk about the baseball season so far. And, it definitely hasn't started out as the best week for the baseball team. I'll say that much. Our big time winning streak finally came to a crushing halt at the hands of, you guessed it, ETSU. We literally talked about this last week, saying, "Oh, you better watch out for ETSU." That's one team you don't want to overlook. Well, guess what? We predicted it, or I guess whoever said it predicted it, because ETSU was the first one to beat us.
I think me and Lucas said that, or maybe it was. Did you say that, Lucas? I think me and you said that.
I said we should win, but I said I wouldn't be shocked if we lost because ETSU is a good team. Right. And of course, as soon as we lost that game, everybody was like, "Oh, Tennessee sucks. They ain't no good. They ain't doing anything ever again." And then what does Tennessee do? They come out and beat a ranked Alabama team in the series. They lost the first game, but they won the next 2 games.
Georgia beat ETSU. That means they're better. So we got that.
And LSU with their precious little 7 natties lost to Texas in the series. So yeah, I don't want to hear anything from LSU.
But Texas only has 1 less natty and like a lot more wins than them, so I guess they can argue over who's got the better program all time or whatever.
Right, exactly. So that's what's going on with the baseball team this week. We'll be keeping a close eye on them as the season continues. Hopefully they keep up their dominant streak. We have yet to lose a series. Hopefully that continues onward. As for the softball team, things have started to crumble for them. We ended up beating Eastern Kentucky. Julio, please mute up. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. My headphone wouldn't let me talk, and so I had to take them off.
You're good. So the softball team has crumbled a bit. we did beat Eastern Kentucky 8-0, but the Arkansas series did not go as planned. In fact, the third game of the series is actually going on right now. Arkansas won the first 2 games. We lost to them 3-6, and we lost to them 0-9. And guess what, everybody? Guess what? Because Tennessee lost the series in humiliating fashion, all the comments for Karen Weekly, it went a little something like this. It's a tune we all know all too well. Fire! 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 We got fire! Fire! It's time for changes in the program. Oh, we gotta ping the AD 25 times. At AD Danny White. At AD Danny White. At AD Danny. So we got that going on now.
Yeah. We want change. We want change.
I will say this. She's the funny thing is though is that with softball as like an actual collegiate sport, it's so young, and so like all the legends are coaching at one time, and it's so weird because Patty Gasso was kind of known as a choker for a long time at Oklahoma until the last couple years, and whenever they became dominant, and then they quietly went away as she's won 4 national championships. So I don't know. I don't think Karen Weekly will go on that, but if it takes us losing embarrassing series to Arkansas to actually make a run, to Oklahoma, then I guess that's good for them. But I don't think we'll beat Oklahoma though.
Yeah, Tennessee fans are so upset about that 9-0 score that a lot of these Tennessee fans are saying not only fire the coaches, fire the team. We got to fire the players. We got to fire the players. Fire them. Some of these people are proof that dead internet theory is not a theory, but a realization.
I will say we do need a better pitching staff because the only one that bothers to show up half the time is Carolyn Pickens.
But Julio. Fire Julio. We got a fire
Fire now.
Fire Julio. We got a fire. All right. Anyway, Tennessee is winning the third game of the series right now. So
yay!
And, of course, a lot of the fans have instantly changed their tune. In fact, they're pinging the AD again, letting them know that Tennessee is an everything school.
But yeah, typical Tennessee, winning games when it doesn't matter. Yay!
Now, this is important to mention here. Carolyn Pickens, she actually just did hit a 78-mile-per-hour pitch, and it sets the record. Yes, the record for the fastest pitch ever thrown in softball history, and that's according to the softball account. So don't quote me on that.
Oh yeah. Game just ended. Tennessee won 3-2.
But
like I said, Carolyn Pickens, our best player.
But far for fries? But we got a fire for fries. I thought we fired a fire for fries.
5 for 5.
But what about Kim Caldwell? She's doing great.
No, 5 for 5.
We got fire for fries. Yeah, you got fire for fries.
We do got Texas next round, so we're probably gonna get some slander from Kyle. If you don't know who Kyle is.
Yeah, that one's definitely gonna be hard to win. Texas is playing pretty good, but we almost beat them last time. But so we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, we shall see. Shoot, I just realized I have a bunch of push-ups I still need to do. I still got a shitload of push-ups I gotta do on the show, and I didn't even realize I was so enamored in the conversations we were having on this show. I didn't even think about the push-ups. Looks like we'll have to continue that. during Tartaria Tuesdays. Yeah, as you can tell, we're real professionals over here. Before we do that, though, there is one more thing I'd like to show here on the stream, and I'll show it to you guys as well. And that's just a quick update on the bracket and who's ahead right now. So here's a look at the bracket, and I'll make sure to show this to you guys as well. Now, it matters very little, though, since I don't think you guys are in the race for it, but... in front by a significant margin is Brian Wolf 21. So whoever that may be, you're very, very far ahead in the race right now with 54 points. Behind him, we got Kyle, safe, and then Weggy RH and a bunch of numbers, Jay West, Ian Key, Bama owns 10, and that's why you're number 6.
Yeah, fake.
Yeah.
Chonky Chuck.
I've fallen quite a bit, down to 8th. I was in the top 5, but now I'm down to 8. Maybe I can rise back up. Ian the Hyper right below me. Go down the list. You start seeing some of these other people. Goob's at 13.
Poor Goob.
Connor Sucks. That's at 18. I've got an idea of who that might be, or maybe I don't, because you go all the way down here.
Yeah.
Lucas went number 38. Is that really you?
I don't think that's me. I think I might be Connor Sucks.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure.
Julio, did you put a bracket in here? Julio?
I guess not.
Is he the person that guys, he left again. He left.
Oh.
His mic jumped off another cliff. Okay, here he is. Welcome back. So which one of these brackets is you?
The thing is, I think mine's at the bottom. I don't think mine got in on time, so it's like zero.
KJY, is that you?
Yeah.
And well, hey, you're not at the bottom. You're tied. You're tied for last. With I think that's
the thing is though, I don't think mine submitted on time. Is what I'm saying.
Well, you're right there with Comic Dude. He's a Rutgers
fan, because I had Duke, so I know mine should still be alive.
This is weird.
If it was on time.
Kansas State for the Natty, and this guy has Florida winning the title.
Well, Kansas State didn't even make the tournament.
Yeah. Dang.
Wait, hold up. He had UC. Did he have UC San Diego making the Final Four? He did.
He did. No, he had him making the. Oh my gosh, he did have him making the Final Four.
And he had good. Oh my gosh.
Foolish. A little foolish. Wow.
Good Lord.
Yeah, and he had Gonzaga in the Final Four as well. Yeah. This thing fell apart real quick.
I thought my bracket was bad. Jeez.
Well, to be fair, yours is barely above his. Just barely.
Well, mine has a chance to get more points, though. Like, way more points than his. See, look, 120.
Let's look at yours. Auburn, Michigan State, and in the Elite Eight you had. We'll see how that lines up. Yeah, some of these definitely fell apart though. A lot of these definitely fell apart. Yeah, that's right. You had High Point. You had High Point beating Purdue. That's where it all went wrong right there.
Yeah. And then I'd VCU beating BYU.
That too. That'll make you fall apart. You did the Liberty thing like I did, because I had Liberty. Yeah, I had Liberty beating Oregon. Although I did have Arizona winning the second game, so that put me up a bit. Yeah, but I mean, this isn't a bad bracket, which is why I'm surprised it's so low. It's weird. Oh well. Well, you might jump up a whole bunch before this is all said and done. Right now, all that needs to be known is that Brian Wolf is heavily in front, but he does have less points remaining than a lot of these other guys, so that could definitely change in a heartbeat. We'll see. Chonky Chuck is gonna fall down. It looks like he's only got 40 points remaining.
Yeah, good chance. Some people below him jump in front of him.
But right now, Brian Wolf is heavily in the lead for that cool and good hat. Behind Kyle, Weggy, Jay West. Yeah. Oh,
yep, you're right, Goob. No more squid cheater.
Yeah, as you guys can tell, I really cheated to get my 8th place finish right now. Yeah. I'm a big time cheater for that one.
Yeah, you paid off the refs.
Yeah. That too. Don't forget that.
Yeah, we all know you live in a mansion, Squidtard.
Yeah, can't you tell? Really nice mansion I've got over here.
That's just a green screen. He's lying to you guys. I've seen it. I've seen his house.
Okay.
He lives in a trailer park.
See that? Now that's me. Wait, hold on. So if I live in a trailer park, then how am I supposed to pay off the refs? You're not making a lot of sense here. Yeah, see, that's what happens. You see what happens when you lie?
I was talking to my parents, bro.
You see what happens when you lie? That's what happens. Okay, well, time for push-ups before we get. I'm not gonna do them all because 80 push-ups seems like kind of pushing it. I don't think I have the muscle strength for that one. But in the meantime, Lucas and Julio, tell the people what you want to tell them before we call wraps on the show.
I guess Julio, you can go first if you want to.
Of course, just go Vols. That's really it. Hopefully, I keep my win streak going for the football. Whenever we select the random teams, hopefully I get a good one on the spin. So hopefully that goes well this year, and hopefully we are still talking about the Tennessee men's and women's basketball. We're doing good, and any other sport, especially baseball and softball.
Yeah,
I guess that's it.
I guess I'll say go Vols, tighten up. The draft is coming up. WrestleMania coming up. And Julio, we're definitely going to do a predictions video for WrestleMania coming up. And, yeah, screw Kentucky. Hope horns down. Hopefully we beat Texas in the Sweet 16. And hopefully in the next podcast that we do, we're still talking about our teams.
That's right. Because this is a big hate week right now. We haven't gotten a lot of opportunity. Why don't we just play this for old time's sake?
Bravo! Just freaking beat Tennessee, please. Can we just stop losing to this stupid team with their stupid orange colors, their stupid song, and their woo, get their woo on out of here.
Good times, and hopefully we get to see another meltdown from that guy. I really like to see another meltdown from that guy. Really would.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious because if we beat them in the Sweet 16, we will have bragging rights for such a long time. Such a long time.
It's not going to matter if we lose to Houston, because even if we don't make the Final Four, we'll have knocked them out of the tournament. So that's going to make things all the better for us.
Yeah, we knock them out of the tournament and then we lose close to Houston in the Elite Eight. It's still going to be like, still no Final Fours, even if you knocked us out and ended our season.
Yeah, basically a little something like this.
Why, man? Why? My day is now ruined. My day is now ruined.
Like that.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay then, guys. Well, you heard them. This is a huge week for us. Kentucky, you have no idea what's about to hit you. You may have won the first 2 times, but we're about to win the one that matters. The one that matters the most. So you best just get ready for a very select amount of pain coming up. And you're probably going to get one of these, too, by the end of it. You're going to get one of these if it'll play. It's not going to play. It's the get out sound effect. It always does this, and I'm sure it's going to jump. It's going to jump scare me in a second. I already know how this is going to go. So give it a second. It might load. It might load. There it goes. Okay. Yes, you're going to get one of these probably. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. And Jonathan Sabib, good to see you, buddy. I know I haven't interacted with the comments much tonight. I do apologize for that. It's been It's been a heck of a stream so far, though. But let's do roll call real quick. Jonathan, Shabib, Goob, not. Is my mic quiet? Has my mic been quiet, you guys?
I hear you.
Yeah,
Let me hear you. Try to hear you on stream.
Yeah, I'm not sure why my mic's quiet.
Yeah, it said you're talking on stream.
Oh yeah, I know. I know you can hear me, but somebody said my mic's quiet. I don't know. I'm gonna turn it up a bit though. I'll give it a 4 decibel boost. How about that? That's a little better. That'll be a little better. Okay. Let's see. Who else is in here? Young Man Connor, a fellow channel member. Michael Doty. Goob, of course, fellow Texas A&M man. Jemai Meshack Stan. Darth Silver Sith. Blockhead, Even Odd. Andrew the Textbook. Volunteer State. Rocky. Yeah, we had a nice crew tonight. Appreciate all of you guys for being here. Again, I don't know why. There is an upgrade coming for this sooner than later. I love this Blue Yeti mic. It's been useful for me for as long as I've had it, but it is very audio inconsistent because sometimes I'll get on and it'll be loud as hell and it'll sound like I'm just going, and then other times I'll get on and it's like, so I don't know what the deal is with that, but you know, we had a great show tonight. That's all that counts. You guys were able to hear me. The comments were able to hear me. Everybody was able to hear me. So that's what counts. All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. Hopefully both of our teams will still be dancing. Lady Vols, good luck against Texas. You're going to need it is all I can really say about that. And hopefully by the end of it, you can get past them and move on into the Final Four. Hopefully we'll see both of these teams still dancing by next week. But if not, I'm sure we'll adjust. But until then, appreciate you guys for watching. And as always, power to Tardaria. And of course, go Vols. And while you're at it, Kentucky,
pick up your shovel and get back to the coal mine.